Welcome to Films and Stuff with your hosts, Pete Mitchell and Ethan Hunt.
Pete, welcome back. How are you today?
Ethan, I'm well, thank you. And yourself?
Everything is good. I think that today, what we need to do is we need to take a step back and we need to look at the universe of movies, TV shows coming up now in early 2022 and refocus on what we think that we should start watching. Because there's a lot of content coming out and there's a lot of content that has been released and we've been caught up in all the different things that we're watching that we haven't really, I think, taken inventory of what is out now or coming out soon that we need to plan for.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I fully agree. And I think, given that we've already talked about how we're going to be reviewing and rating shows and movies, I think it's important. I think you're right. It's important to kind of tee up the rest of the year in terms of shows and movies that either we're looking forward to or not looking forward to, and, kind of give everyone an idea of what they can expect to hear from us about. In terms of Hollywood, of course, there's going to be lots of things that we're going to talk about that aren't related to films and TV shows. But in the meantime, at least this gives you
that stuff.
That's the stuff side of it. That's right. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with TV shows or do you want to start with movies?
Let me ask you, if this was like a business development exercise, what is your funnel like? Like, how do you get I think you've got better, you give me a lot of recommendations. My brother gives me some recommendations. That's kind of where I get things from. I don't do a lot of independent research. I usually get them from someone else. Where do you get your universe of stuff that you want to see or learn what's coming out? Maybe you could just tell me your process, because I think I need to refine my process.
So back in the day, and this is going to sound one of two ways. This is going to come off as incredibly nerdy and bookish.
I'm so excited.
Or this is going to come off as incredibly pretentious. But
I'm ready.
In the day, before the advent of, let's call it, the internet as we know it today, I was an avid reader of the trades, which was Variety, right? And which is Variety. And this really it was a magazine that you could, or, a paper of sorts that you could get all the information of the comings and goings of Hollywood. And you really got an idea of what casting director, what people were cast for what movies were on the slate, what movies were on Hollywood's blacklist, that kind of idea. So that was back, we're now talking, I can't remember the last time I even read any of the so-called trades. But this was
time ago.
This was, at least 15 years ago. Since then, however, now I think for movies, it's very easy because, nowadays in this hyper, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year news media cycle, if a celebrity drops a pencil, you hear about it, right? So
sure.
That's very easy now to know who's getting cast for what, and rumors are going crazy because it's a very cheap and easy way to get marketing publicity, to say, hey, I heard there are rumors that Emily Blunt's in the running for Invisible Woman in Fantastic Four, for example, right?
Did not know that.
So she's apparently in the running, and to be determined again. Randall Park or John Cho might be in the running for Mr. Fantastic. That'll be interesting. But in any case, so the rumor mill is the first way. The second way is, of course, if you spend a lot of time online, you get to see trailers for things on YouTube, and there's a lot of specific channels that are dedicated only to showing trailers. So you can catch up on those. And then, of course, there's, a bunch of different entertainment websites that you can read articles on and follow. And I mean real websites, not like TMZ or like, these gossip magazines that are going after celebrities. I'm not bothered. I'm not one of those guys that's interested in knowing what Queen Latifah had for lunch and why it was a scandal. Like, that doesn't
What
bother me.
what about, would you want to know what Nicolas Cage had for lunch?
That's only because I'm interested in Nicolas Cage in everything he does.
I feel like you would absolutely want to unlock the paywall to find out what Nicolas Cage had for lunch.
But that's only for Nicolas Cage. As far as I'm concerned, if you're looking at our rating scale, Nicolas Cage is a must-watch right now or a subscribe. So that's how I feel about. That's how I get my information. So that's also how I get my information for things like video games. I'm a big fan of gaming. So, these are the kinds of quote-unquote industry things you can do.
So are you more excited about a good new series coming out or a good movie coming out?
Generally speaking, I think I'm more excited for movies than I am on series. But I will caveat to say that in the last 5 to 10 years, there have been a lot of TV series out that are so excellent that you almost prefer them to movies.
Give me one.
I'll give you a couple. Breaking Bad.
Yes.
A movie. You could not have Breaking Bad in a movie because it would be too slow and too boring.
Too long.
And then it would be way too long. And what I like about shows like that is they're slow burns. So when you have a slow burn, you get a lot of build up, you get a lot of anticipation. And I don't want to say all of them nail the ending, but that I think Breaking Bad nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
What's a movie that you would have preferred to see as a series?
That's a great question.
That's a great question. Should we come back to that one?
Yeah, I think we should. There's a couple that I can think of.
I'd like some listener suggestions on this one as well.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're looking at the universe, we've been watching a lot of stuff lately, right? We've been talking about, we've got Book of Boba Fett. We have
Peacemaker.
What else have we watched?
355. A bunch of stuff on Netflix. You name it, we've probably seen it or heard of it or actively chosen to avoid it.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of. We haven't done a breakdown of these because they're multi seasons. But I've been watching a lot of Vikings, which I really got into. I've been watching a lot of Last Kingdom, which is very similar to Vikings. A lot of Expanse, which is sci-fi. So those are multi-season series, which are very difficult to do breakdowns, just because unless you're really current with them or you haven't started, it's hard to catch up and to be on the same wavelength. But I'm looking now to what we should be watching going forward. So on the cinema side, what's coming out that we should be looking for in early 2022? What are your trades telling us?
Okay, so I don't know about the timelines for most of these because I think the frank reality is that the last 2 years has really wrecked accurate timelines for anything. Mm-hmm. So I think let's do this. I'm going to name some movies. You tell me whether you think they're interesting or not, and I'll try to convince you if I disagree with you one way or another. Okay?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right.
I love it.
Perfect. Okay. So let's start off the top with recent box office smash actor Uncharted, starring Tom Holland.
I don't know what this is about. I love Tom Holland. What is Uncharted about? Fishing?
So Uncharted is it's a movie based on a video game series that's exclusive to the PlayStation, and Uncharted is the one-line synopsis would be: imagine a modern-day version of Indiana Jones.
I'm in. Modern-day Indiana Jones, Tom Holland, absolutely in.
Right.
Okay.
So that's got Tom Holland,
Mark Wahlberg's
and
in
Mark
this.
Wahlberg. That's right. Marky Mark's in there.
I feel like I've kind of seen this trailer. If there's anything more than 100% in, I am more than 100% in.
You will have definitely seen the trailer. It's the one where he's falling out of a cargo airplane.
Yes, I'm in. Done.
Perfect.
What's next?
Moonfall, starring Halle Berry. I think it's just come out or is just on the verge of coming out.
This I'm absolutely in. I know the storyline. I don't think I've seen the trailer. The moon is falling into the earth, right?
Something like that. Or I assume that's what it is based on the title alone. I am 100% in just on this basis.
I'm 100% in. Can I also say something? Moonfall, even if it is a terrible movie, this title alone will make sure it's a box office success.
Yeah.
Compared to, you and I've talked about this, the title, The 355,
right,
which tells you 0, even though it's a number, it tells you 0 about the movie, whereas Moonfall tells you almost immediately exactly what this movie is about.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And, I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, is that a new James Bond movie? Because I couldn't help but think, like, Skyfall.
The sequel to Skyfall. Moonfall.
I mean, you can't help.
Then there's Universe Fall.
So I'm in. Okay, good. We're both on the same page.
We're in. Yeah.
The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson.
If these 3 movies are shown in a row, I'm buying an all-day ticket. This is amazing. Absolutely, I'm going to see Robert Pattinson. And let me just give that dude a compliment. Whenever those werewolf, or what was he?
Vampire.
He was a vampire. Whenever those vampire movies came out, if you would have asked me then, I would have said there is 0.0% chance I will ever like Robert Pattinson as a person or as an actor. And now, primarily because of Tenet, I think that he's just super.
He's killing it.
I can't wait to see Batman. So hats off to him for making me go back on my own word. But he's really
I will say that most of the Twilight cast has rebuilt themselves in the eyes of the audience, right? Kristen Stewart has... Yeah. It is Kristen Stewart, right? Yeah. Kristen Stewart has kind of remade herself. The only one who hasn't, I think, is
Taylor
Lautner. I don't think he's done much.
He had that one kind of action movie, and then he's just become something else.
I recently saw him in an American football movie, where he plays the coach, but that's it. Okay.
The coach?
Yeah, it's about the Saints, I think, and Sean Payton was the coach that got suspended, right?
Oh yes, it's called the home team, right?
The home team, that's the one I saw. Yeah,
and Kevin James is playing Sean Payton.
That's right.
And this is even weirder. This is a tangent, but that's what this is for. That movie is a Disney movie about a violence scandal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the coach gets suspended based on a true story, and Disney has somehow repackaged something that's super negative and made it into a Disney movie.
It's such a Disney thing to do, to make someone like Sean Payton look like a good guy at the end of the day.
I think as long as you have Kevin James, audiences will...
Yeah, I think it's not really made for football fans. Exactly. I think it's made for mostly kids. Okay, right. So that's that. Okay, what about Fantastic Beasts 3?
I didn't know that there was a 2. I did not see 1. To be honest, even if you ask me what is the plot of this, I can't tell you except what those 2 words tell me. I don't know.
So it's a spin-off series from the Harry Potter universe. And it's about Dumbledore, who is the principal of the of Hogwarts, and it's most famously known right now for 2 reasons, both of them both negative. One of them, the first reason, is because of J.K. Rowling's prolific anti-LGBTQ tweets, and the second reason is because prior to this movie, in 1 and 2, it starred Johnny Depp, and he was kicked out of the series based on what happened because of his alleged behavior with Amber Heard. was replaced by
notwithstanding,
Mads Mikkelsen, who I like.
Notwithstanding all this drama, I have to say, like, this is not something I'm gonna make any efforts.
Yeah, this is probably not one I'll go watch in the cinema. Might watch it only because I like the Harry Potter universe overall, but otherwise not really bothered. What about Pixar's next great hit, Turning Red? Have you even seen a trailer for it?
No. Is this like an animated thing about like
the
big red dog? Is it about Mars? Oh.
No, it's about it's about a kid who, when I can't remember if it's a girl or a boy, when the kid gets angry or annoyed or something happens, instead of turning into the Hulk, it turns into a giant bear, like a red a red panda.
I'm not gonna see this.
All right. What about Top Gun 2?
Yes, 1,000 times yes. And not only am I going to see it, I want to wear a flight suit. I think that it should be mandatory to dress up, whether it's a fake mustache to honor Goose, whether it's wearing a flight suit, somehow, or aviator glasses, somehow, admission should be contingent on dressing up to honor the original.
Let's make it happen. I would love to watch this movie in the theater with you while wearing flight suits.
It would be my honor, Pete. It would be my honor.
Good. All right, good. So so far we're mostly in agreement.
If you see two people in flight suits in Top Gun 2, that may well be Pete and Ethan.
That's right. Or
any of our listeners who are inspired by that story.
We advise everyone to wear a flight suit.
We strongly advise.
What about Doctor Strange 2?
Absolutely, yes. Not going to dress up, but I endorse this just as emphatically.
And surprise, or not surprise, by the time this episode comes out, it probably will already be revealed. But at the time of recording, I've heard rumors that they're going to showcase a new trailer at the Super Bowl. And I believe that the trailer is going to reveal something very exciting. I don't know what that is. I expect it to be like a special cameo of some kind. Maybe they're going to reveal the final Fantastic Four. I don't know. I hope, but we don't know.
I don't know. You know, I have to say, as excited as I am about Doctor Strange 2, I don't really want a reveal. I love being surprised in the cinema so much. I don't really want this reveal.
So
no matter what it is, I'm sure it's going to be good.
I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%, but here's the problem. I think the problem is that because there are so many rumors flying around Doctor Strange 2 now already about who's in it, who's not in it, what cameos are going to be in there, I think that they're probably going to try to nip this in the bud by just showing it now so that it's not spoiled outside of something that's in their control. That isn't in their control. So, like, for example, in Spider-Man, they were very good. They were two of the two big surprises. I actually thought the smaller one was an even better one because it was so out of left field and nobody heard anything about it and there were no rumors. The other surprise, which wasn't really a surprise, had less impact for me in the cinema. So this is why I think they're going to do it, and I get it. I'm with you principally, but I'd rather be spoiled by Marvel in a trailer than I would by a stranger on the internet. Okay. All right, now, here's a controversial one. What about Jurassic World 3?
First of all, I'm excited, but can we just take a moment to recap the Jurassic universe?
Oh, yeah.
There was Jurassic Park. Amazing. Then there was Jurassic Park 2.
Yep. Not good.
What happened in Jurassic Park 2?
That's the one I think that my Jurassic Park 2 was
they
one
went back to the island?
No. Jurassic Park 2 was the one about Goldblum and his daughter, who was the ballet dancer, his adopted daughter. And that's the one where the dinosaurs, the T-Rex comes to, I think, San Francisco, but I can't remember what city it was. And the showdown and the finale, the final scene was the one on the docks.
It's a good thing that this is a podcast because I have a super confused look on my face right now. That's probably not appropriate for video.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Jurassic Park 2. What happened in Jurassic Park 3?
So Jurassic Park 3 is where Sam O'Neill comes back. And that's the one where they go back to the island to rescue a boy who's stranded there.
Okay, fine. Then we took some time off, and then we went to Jurassic World, right?
Yeah.
And is this where that big fish jump out of the tank and ate the other big
That's
thing?
right.
Okay, amazing. Then there's Jurassic World 2. And this is with Star-Lord.
So Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3 are with Chris Pratt.
Star-Lord.
Yep, Star-Lord, sorry. In Jurassic World 1, and Jessica Chastain.
Oh, there we go. Jessica Chastain, back to well done.
Yep. So Jurassic World. Oh no! Wait.
Are you sure it's not? It's Dallas Bryce. No, it's Dallas Bryce Howard.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I can't believe. I'm so sorry. That is such a terrible gaffe.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry because everyone in Hollywood has their doppelganger.
That's such a terrible.
And Dallas Bryce.
Yeah, the two of them, I get them confused constantly for whatever reason. And when you put them side by side, they do not look the same. But for whatever reason,
they definitely don't look like identical twins.
No way. But
if you had to just identify them, generally...
If Dallas Bryce Howard had red hair as strongly as Jessica Chastain does, I suspect people would consider themselves as sisters.
Is it rude to ask who we prefer?
Dallas Bryce Howard. Yeah. Me too, because I think she's a better... I don't know if she's a better actress, but she's definitely a great director.
Yes.
Okay, so in Jurassic World,
and can I just say something? I like 3-word names.
Oh, really?
It's got 3. Yeah, I think 3-word names. It just makes you kind of happy to say it.
Yeah. And Jurassic World 2, it's about how the dinosaurs get cloned and sold off in auctions to ultra billionaires. And I don't know what Jurassic World 3 is about. And frankly speaking, I'm out. I loved Jurassic Park 1, and since then, I'm out. Star-Lord, I saw Jurassic World 1. I didn't mind it. It didn't really do anything for me, but I didn't mind it. But Jurassic World, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I think a little bit of it was there was a bit of fatigue about Chris Pratt. And I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm fatigued. I don't need to see anything with him anymore.
I think what's going to happen is after we get out of Top Gun 2 and we remove our aviators, you will go left in to see Fantastic Beasts, and I will go right to see Jurassic World.
No. I'll go with you to watch Jurassic World over Fantastic Beasts.
Oh.
Fantastic Beasts I will not watch in the cinema.
All right. Yeah, I'll see Jurassic World 3. I won't reschedule my life around it, but I'll go see it.
Yeah, maybe. To be determined in terms of, we'll see when it's closer to the date. But at the moment, if you put, if you put me on the spot, I'm a little about it.
You know what's kind of weird about this world?
What's that?
We're so excited about Top Gun 2. 2. Not 1, 2. And there's a Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3 and a Jurassic World 1, 2, 3.
I know.
We've got, and Top Gun's on 2, right?
Yeah.
There's been 3 Back to the Futures.
Yeah, but I would argue that, look, let's wait. And I've got fingers crossed, toes crossed. Yeah. I hope that Top Gun 2 is going to be amazing.
I think it's going to be amazing.
But
based on the trailer, it's wow.
Yeah,
that trailer alone is wow.
Maybe. And again, I'm tempering my expectations because I don't want to get disappointed. But we'll broach this topic in a couple months when we see it. All right.
I'll be in tears. I'm going to cry. I know I'm going to cry already. It's inevitable. My aviators are going to get so steamed up.
That'll be great. All right. What about Thor 4? Love and Thunder.
I I mean, I have to say, I do like Chris Hemsworth. I do like him in Thor. I'm not sure where the storyline is going, to be honest. I mean, but I do like Thor a lot. So yeah, I'm in.
I'm in, and I think I'm in because Natalie Portman's back, and I'm in because I believe they're doing the storyline in Thor where Natalie Portman actually becomes the new Thor. Yeah, so I can't wait to see what happens with that. I'm also in because, you know, if you're an MCU fan, you kind of have to. It's one of those things that we've talked about where even if you're not super excited into it, it automatically becomes a must watch because if you're a part of the MCU, you have to watch the whole thing.
I agree. I'm in.
What about Black Adam?
I don't know anything about what that is.
So
title also not helping me here.
It's a spin-off of Shazam, which is a part of the DC.
Like ATOM, like the molecule?
No, Adam like the name, ADAM.
No. Who's in it?
So The Rock stars as Black
No
Adam.
way!
Yeah.
Huh. And what is he? He's up. What's the storyline?
So it's here's where things go slightly off the rails. Black Adam is a spin-off show about of Shazam, and Black Adam is actually a bad guy. I think they're going to reframe it that he's going to be an anti-hero.
I have to say, the title's not great, but I'm in. After Top Gun 2, after Doctor Strange, this seems like the third best one so far. Oh, okay. Moonfall, Batman. Yeah, I'm in.
Exactly.
Okay, it's the 8th best one.
Okay. I'm in. Here's another controversial one. Expendables 4.
No way.
I'm 100% in.
Nope.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I remember seeing...
Are these guys still alive?
Exactly. That's what makes it all the better. These are all
way.
the guys we grew up idolizing in the 80s who we thought were the best of the best because, you know, of course, as kids, you don't have nuance, so you don't care if they're good dramatic actors or not. You just care that they can do the bang, bang, shooty, shooty movies.
This is Expendables 4 Bad Grandpa. No, this is boring. I don't understand how they even got the first Expendables out there. All these guys are so old. I don't want to see Harrison Ford and Jean-Claude Van Damme, although I do like 3 names. Yeah. And who else? Stallone.
Jackie Chan. Jason Statham.
Drago. Statham is way too young.
Yeah, but that's the point. He plays the young counterpart to Sylvester Stallone.
Oh. I'm not interested in this. To be honest, I've never seen an Expendables, so maybe it's better than I expected.
Okay. What about Mission Impossible 7?
Yes. Absolutely yes.
Perfect.
Do we know anything about the storyline?
No.
Because
I just know that Tom Cruise is... I think he's going to breathe underwater somehow, or I think he's going to fly in space without a suit somehow, because where else do you go after all the things that he's done? Like, what's another ridiculous stunt that he could possibly do?
Just tell me, like, in real life, has he been saying, like, okay, this is going to be my last Mission Impossible? Because it seems like the storyline in every Mission Impossible is he says, like, you know, this is my last mission, then I'm out.
Yeah, so I think it's in...
What's going on?
I believe 8 is going to be the last one, or at least the last one with Tom Cruise as the lead. If you remember, when they introduced Jeremy Renner into the Mission Impossible universe, there was talk and rumors that the reason they were introducing Jeremy Renner was because they wanted him to eventually replace Tom Cruise. And it's the same thing that Jeremy Renner did in the Bourne Identity and the Bourne trilogy, which didn't work out for Jeremy Renner there either.
He's not that guy. He's
very good, but he's very good, but just give him his own role. Why does he have to replace Tom Cruise? Why does he have to replace Matt Damon?
What if they would call this Mission Impossible 007? Would that just create trademark issues?
I mean, that would be hilarious.
That would entertain me endlessly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then the next movie on our list, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Wait, is this a movie or a show?
It's a movie. It's a full-length animated feature movie.
Oh.
It's made and produced by Disney. it is, and if you haven't seen it, Ethan, and to our listeners, I actually think that this is the best or the second best Spider-Man movie, period. In the entire, if you're counting all the live actions, I actually think this is, if not the best, definitely the second best.
I have to see the first one first, though, right?
Yes, you will have to see the first one because some of the characters return.
Okay.
I highly recommend it in terms of, forget about the fact that it's animated. It's not, I mean, of course, Spider-Man's typically target demographic is kids, but even though it's animated, it is not a kids movie, or it's not a movie aimed only at kids. And there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of depth to this movie, and I highly recommend it. And Ethan, you'll never guess, it's got Nicolas Cage in the movie.
Oh, I see where you're coming from, Pete.
No, but even if he weren't there, I'd still recommend it. That's how good it is.
So, wait, an animated Nicolas Cage?
Animated. Not as Nicolas Cage. I won't even tell you who he is because I don't want to spoil it. Watch the movie. Do yourself a favor.
All right, I'm in. I'll do that favor for myself.
All right, and then we've got Ezra Miller starring in The Flash.
I am in. What else has Ezra Miller been in?
Other than I don't know him very well. I think he was in a show. I think he was in some shows on TV, but I don't really. Before this movie, I didn't really know him. I think he's in one of the Fantastic Beasts movies, and that's it that I know of. I don't know him not personally, but I don't know of him as an actor very well. He obviously played the Flash in the other Justice League movies.
Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, I definitely see that. I'm in. Okay.
Perfect. And you'll be intrigued to know, by the way, in that movie, maybe if you're on the fence, this might tip it over. Michael Keaton comes back as the Batman in this movie.
Whoa. Hold the phone. I love Michael Keaton as Batman.
And
I love Michael
Ben
Keaton
Affleck as Batman in this movie.
Do not like Ben Affleck as Batman.
I believe everyone except George Clooney as Batman is coming back. I believe. I don't know, but I believe.
So wait, is this like there's going to be a multiverse of Batman?
Yes, the movie is based on the Flashpoint paradox. And it's about the multiverse.
So Val Kilmer is coming?
I don't know, but I hope. There were rumors. Again, all of these things were rumored. George Clooney went out of his way to tell the world that he didn't want to come back, which made me think he was definitely coming back. But then he gave a very good reason, and he said that the reason I don't think my Batman should come back was because my Batman movie was so bad and my depiction of Batman was so poorly accepted. I think it would be a disservice to the current Batman series, which as an answer, I really respect.
It really takes a man to come out and say, my character was so bad he doesn't deserve to be in any other sequels.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll see The Flash. But can we just take a quick moment? What's your ranking of Batman? You got Keaton Kilmer, the K's, Clooney, which is C, sounds like a K, and you've got who else? Ben Affleck, and of course
Adam West.
The best one?
Adam West?
No. Yeah, but who's the guy who's in the 3 Dark Knights?
Oh, right. Sorry, Christian Bale.
Yeah, so Christian Bale probably number 1. I mean, Adam West, I think, is a different category.
I actually think that the way I've always done it over the many years of being asked this question or talking about this, I actually think that you have to split the rankings, and one as Batman and one as Bruce Wayne. Because, for example...
I love it. That is so good.
Right?
Yeah,
because,
amazing.
For example...
Yeah.
I actually think the best Bruce Wayne that we've seen to date is probably either... it's a close call between Keaton and Affleck.
Yes. You're absolutely right. I have to say, that is Pete so good. You're right.
And then if you're looking at his best Batman, like purely as Batman, I would say it's either Bale or I would say it's Bale just over Keaton.
Definitely Bale. I have to say, I don't remember a lot about the Val Kilmer Batman.
Yeah, so the Val Kilmer and the Clooney Batman were more forgettable in my opinion.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. I think as Batman, I think it's actually, if you can stand the killing, I think it's I think it's Bale over Affleck. Because I really liked Ben Affleck's as Batman because he had the Dark Knight costume by Frank Miller. He looked the part. He was physically big and bruising. What I didn't like was he was very liberal with his use of killing people. Like, that is not Batman. Okay. And of course, this is all caveated by saying we still obviously haven't seen Robert Pattinson's version. And I suspect that he's going to be an excellent Bruce Wayne. I suspect he's going to be a better Bruce Wayne than he is a better Batman. But again, we don't know. Okay, thereafter we've got Black Panther 2.
I'm in. I don't know who is Black Panther, but I'm definitely in.
Yeah,
Wakanda forever.
I still have no idea what they're doing with it, but apparently it's still on track. I think principal photography has been completed or is just about to complete. Then we've got Avatar 2, which I hear is coming back. Finally.
Absolutely in. Don't know what's happening, but I loved, of course, the original Avatar. Although I have to say, I think if I watched Avatar again now, I wouldn't really love it so much.
Yeah.
I think it was, at the time, that it was pretty interesting. But I have to say, like, if you said, like, hey, Avatar's on, I would watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Avatar 2. Let's see where it goes.
I think Avatar for me was more the novelty about the 3D, which was, I still think holds up today in terms of quality. But in terms of movie, meh.
And the story was kind of, like, I like the story, but I'm not interested in seeing all the flying things again.
Okay.
Hopefully they do something new.
All right. And then the last movie on my list, which, the more I look at it, is a very superhero-centric list this year, is Aquaman 2. Yeah, I'm with you.
Can you convince me?
No, because I'm with you. I don't, I am not, I'm just, it's not doing anything for me.
I have to say, Aquaman, the original Aquaman, I just kind of probably flipped around a little bit. I know I didn't see it in the cinema. Maybe I saw it on an airplane or maybe on streaming. How did it end? How did Aquaman end?
It ends with him becoming the Aquaman we know from the comics. They have a battle because remember it's they're trying to wage war against man. So there's two factions. There's Aquaman's side and then the bad guy's side, who's also the same Atlanteans, and they want to wage war against the humans. So they create a series of events to make it seem like the humans are attacking Atlanteans and Atlanteans are attacking humans. And it's all a false flag operation, all that nonsense. So it was thoroughly forgettable.
No thanks.
Yeah, exactly. There were moments in it that were really good. There were definitely moments of it that reminded me of a modern day Indiana Jones. But other than that, it was not great.
But if we're looking at, this is Warner, but if we're looking at MCU as the model, so you've got Doctor Strange 2, there's going to be some cameos from some other characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's Thor 4, other characters. The Flash, you just said Batman going to be into it. Black Panther 2, other Marvel characters are going to be into it. Aquaman 2, are we going to see Wonder Woman? We're going to see.
I don't think so.
Superman?
I imagine what they'll do for Aquaman 2 is what they've typically done is for these standalone movies is that they'll introduce an element of cross-universe sharing in the end credit or the mid credit scenes. I don't think that it'll be, because I think Aquaman 2, first of all, stars Jason Momoa, has a lot of cultural cachet at the moment as an actor. So I think they wouldn't want to dilute his screen time by introducing another character or having another character that could potentially steal the movie from him.
Okay. Less interested.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the movies. TV shows. Anything that sticks out to you that you really want to see or not see?
I mean, I was flipping through, some of the things that are coming out now. I mean, you and I on the Disney, on Disney Plus, we're both very excited about, the Star Wars universe, right? So we've got Kenobi coming out. I mean, first of all, we've got to finish up Book of Boba Fett.
Yep.
Then there's Kenobi. What else are we missing on?
So there's, in terms of the Star Wars side, I believe they're doing a series on Cassian Andor from Rogue One.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's not going to be good. I'm sure it'll be wonderful, but it's not really high on my must-watch. And I believe they're also doing a few other spin-offs based on what we've seen from The Mandalorian and what we've seen from the Book of Boba Fett. I don't know. And then they've also got a couple of animated shows. Not my forte or not my cup of tea. So really, of the Star Wars TV series, the only one that really sticks out to me is Kenobi.
Okay. I'm 100% in for that. I'm really excited about it. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I haven't seen a teaser or trailer, but
nothing's come out. I expect, and we'll touch more on this when we talk about Book of Boba. Yeah. But I suspect that the Kenobi series is going to lean heavily in on Obi-Wan Kenobi and on Darth Maul.
All right.
Okay. What else?
So I mean, if we're staying with Disney, what else is on Disney that we're looking forward to? I've seen a lot of things on Netflix, a lot of things on Apple TV Plus, but what else on Disney are we looking forward to? I think that's it. Right?
I think that's it. Disney really has been. Oh no, you got Moon Knight. Moon Knight. That's an MCU show starring Oscar Isaac, and it's so Moon Knight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Moon Knight is a superhero which was basically a copy of Batman. So because the Marvel Universe didn't have their own version of Batman, because between the two of them, there's lots of different characters that have similar parallels, right?
Yeah.
So the Marvel Universe didn't have a Batman, and again, this is me being cynical. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I think that's effectively what Moon Knight is the Marvel Universe's version of Batman. He's a playboy / nobody by day, and an Avenger by night.
Well, I can't believe they can call him Knight, though. Doesn't Marvel have or Warner have a problem using the... Is it a Warner character or is it a Marvel character?
No. So Moon Knight... No, so you're thinking of Batman's moniker, which is the Dark Knight.
Yeah. So I'm saying, who owns the Moon Knight?
No, so
Warner?
Moon Knight is the name of a character, and that's owned by Marvel.
Oh.
Batman is the name of DC's character, but he's also known as the Dark Knight. But that's not his real name, right? That's just a moniker.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Well, I'll probably watch this. I can get into that.
Yeah. So the trailer's out. If you haven't seen it, it's very interesting.
Oh, really?
I'm intrigued. I am intrigued by the idea because I like Oscar Isaac. So I don't think that Disney would waste Oscar Isaac, and I hesitate to use the word waste. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way for TV shows, but like a man of his caliber and an actor of his caliber, I don't think they would want him just on the little screen. I think they're going to use this as an origin story, and then I think they're going to propel him into the cinematic universe.
Is Daisy Ridley in anything coming up? We have not seen her.
Maybe? I don't know. I actually don't know.
I mean,
because
that's how...
when you Star Wars is kind of...
Yeah. Because when you said that about Oscar Isaac, it immediately brought to mind Daisy, who, apart from that one movie, I don't think has been in anything.
Yeah, except
Star Wars.
Outside of Star Wars, and then she was in one of those movies with Tom Holland that did really bad, Chaos Rising or something. She was in Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not saying she hasn't done a lot, but I think in terms of highlights, or in terms of really like alpha movie roles, I don't think she's been in much. I think she might be in Knives Out too, by the way, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. What about Netflix? What's coming out on Netflix?
Knives Out 2.
What?
Sorry, but that's a movie. Knives Out 2 with Daniel Craig.
That's a Netflix movie, right?
Yeah. But in terms of Netflix shows, I'm not 100% sure what's coming out. Stranger Things. If you're into 80s culture at all, you're going to want to watch Stranger Things. It's very good. And in terms of, it hits all the right notes in terms of pop culture from the 80s. It's about 4 kids who get sucked into the world of monsters accidentally, and they have to kind of get out of it. It's I can't even describe it without spoiling it, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
I have not. I know that it's been so popular that I probably should dedicate the time to it. I've just been jammed on. I mean, not jammed, but I've been, so one of the things I've been watching is Vikings. I watch Vikings on Amazon Prime, which I think is amazing if you haven't seen Vikings. It's multi-series.
I think like you, I'm the same way. It's one of the it's on my list, but it's on the back burner.
Yeah, and the same thing with Expanse, right? Expanse started, which you're into.
I just finished it all. The series is over, and it is phenomenal. What a great ending!
So what season did you? There's 6 seasons, and you finished all 6.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm only halfway through. I'm on season 3.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. It gets better and better and better. It does not.
So I'm gonna enforce our no spoiler policy. I've never enforced it before.
No, and it's so good that I don't want to spoil it for you. That's how good it is.
Okay. And then also on Amazon is The Boys, right?
Yeah, we've got The Boys. That should be exciting.
There's a season? Are we on season 2? No, we're on season 3.
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
I don't know, but it's been complete. I'm pretty sure they finished it. I think it comes out anytime.
I love The Boys. Yeah.
Hyper violent, but also hyper realistic.
I agree. Okay. And
Reacher, I have heard good things about Reacher, and if you have, it stars. It's a reimagining of the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movies.
So this is on where? This is on Amazon?
On Amazon, yeah. They've just released the entire season 1 already.
Did you ever read the books? Or you watched the Tom Cruise?
Funnily enough, I've read so there's like 30 books in the series, 40 books in the series.
Yeah, they're so popular.
I think I'm through like 14 of them.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
really?
yeah. They're super, super easy to read. They're fun and super easy to read. That's it.
So, I mean, what I thought when the original Tom Cruise Jack Reacher came out was that this was going to be kind of one of his vehicles for a franchise.
Yeah.
And that he was just going to take the Jack Reacher character forward. And to be honest, I mean, Jack Reacher from the books, correct me if I'm wrong.
Very different from what we see on TV.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a very large, tall, broad-shouldered,
highly muscular guy. Yeah.
He's a huge guy, and Cruise, who plays physical on-screen characters as well as almost anyone, right?
Yeah.
He didn't match kind of what the books were. He played the character just fine, to be honest. Yeah. Actually, pretty good.
Yeah.
But he didn't match kind of what the books were for anyone who's read all these different Jack Reacher.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was going to be his franchise, and then it just kind of like.
It kind of fizzled out. They made 2 movies. Yeah. I liked them both, but I think I was also a fan of the books, and I'm also a huge fan of Tom Cruise. I think it's let's see how the TV series is. It's next on my watch list because again, I want to see before it gets spoiled for me. Yeah. But it's more closely related to the books. The movies what they did for the movies was they took like elements from several different books and made it into one movie. Whereas I think, from what I understand, the first series of Reacher on Amazon is based exclusively on the first book. So they made 8 episodes out of the first book, which is that should be interesting.
Okay. I'm excited to see this. What about, let's turn our attention to Apple TV Plus.
So
a lot of stuff. I mean, they're really pumping out content, but are we enthusiastic about any of the content? Ted Lasso, right?
Ted Lasso, because I loved it. Yes. I thought season 1 was far stronger than season 2, but I really did like season 2.
Agreed. I mean, I've looked at Apple TV Plus, and I have to say, there's a lot of new content. I mean, really, I give them a lot of credit for new content. Swan Song.
I saw that.
Is it sad? Is it depressing?
It's sad. It's bittersweet sadness. It's weird. It's more of a thought experiment movie than it is anything else.
All right. Dickinson, have you watched this?
Nope.
It's supposed to be very good.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay. You know who's in Dickinson is the lady who was in Hawkeye.
Haley Stanfield.
Yes. But it's supposed to be very good. And they're 30-minute episodes.
Okay.
I've never watched it. And to be honest, I don't even know what it's about. Tehran, which is kind of like a international, thriller.
Okay.
It's not bad. Pretty good. Suspicion. This is just coming out. Do you know anything about this?
Nope. Never heard of it.
Okay. Apple TV Plus says it's coming out. Either it just came out or it's coming out like this week. Swagger, which I think is Dr. Dre, right?
Also,
or is it Ice Cube? Or it's Ice Cube. Yeah, it's about like it's either Ice Cube or Dr. Dre, who is the producer of it, and it's about like a kid in high school who's a basketball player looking for a scholarship, hopefully making the NBA.
Sure.
Supposed to be pretty good. I've never watched it.
Okay.
Billions, the new season of Billions is out.
Is that an Apple TV show?
I think it's not Apple TV, but apparently because it's I don't know who the producer is, but it's available through Apple TV.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen. I'm caught up on Billions. I really like Billions.
Even the new series, because there's a new season, right?
Yeah, I think there's 2 or 3 episodes into the new season. I enjoy the show.
It already?
I am watching it.
Right. Yeah. So I've got to catch up. Maybe we can do a breakdown of Billions.
Yeah, Billions is good too. Billions is pretty good.
All right. And then Apple TV Plus says there's something called La Fortuna with Stanley Tucci. And I love Stanley Tucci.
I love Stanley Tucci too. So I don't know La Fortuna, but I'm in. Yeah. If it's called Stanley Tucci, it'll be good.
Yeah. So those are all the things that Apple TV Plus is either just pumped out or touting that they're going to pump out. I'll probably take a look at most, if not all of those, and see if we've got anything, anything worth following.
Right. Okay, so go on.
I think there's only 2 or 3 more things coming out that I'm not sure about, which is there a Lord of the Rings?
Oh, yeah. So they're making, this is something, so that's on Amazon. Amazon optioned Lord of the Rings, and I am not for it. I love the movies. I'm a huge fan. I love the books. I read the books every time before I saw the new movies that came out.
Yeah.
I am not in. I am 100% not in. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't know why they're doing it. And I heard that they've already started making controversial decisions. I think it's gonna. I hope it's not. Don't get me wrong, but based on what I've heard, I believe it's going to be a train wreck.
Hold on. Can you just put it in perspective for me? There's how many Lord of the Rings movies?
3. So 3 movies based on the original Lord of the Rings, and then 3 movies based on The Hobbit.
Okay, so there's 6, and then what's this Lord of the Rings show? Is it like a prequel? Is it coming after?
So it's theoretically, in terms of timeline, it'll be considered a prequel. From what I understand, it's about the Silmarillion. So it's not based on the Silmarillion, of course, but it's about the founding of the Rings of Power and the mythos behind the thing. So I don't To be determined.
100% out? 100% out, you said?
Yeah.
I think it's to be determined.
Okay, let's put it this way. I'm like 75% out. If what the rumors I've heard are true, then I'm like closer to 100%. But at the moment, I'm leaning more towards being out than I am in.
If only we knew a podcast that could review these things so that we can make informed decisions, right?
Indeed. And if only those informed decisions were grounded in reality and would tell you whether you should bother renting it or not.
With a rating system based on real-world evidence, the RWE system.
I like it.
All right, I'll let you off on this one, Pete. What about House of the Dragon? What is this?
This is a Game of Thrones prequel, which is presumably going to be on HBO Max.
We have to see this then, right?
Yeah, that's the thing is, I don't know how keen I am on it, but we definitely have to see it.
Do we know of anyone who's going to be in it?
Not that I can think of. Let's say it's not been shrouded in mystery, because of course nothing is shrouded in mystery, but I haven't seen or heard much press about it. That's not to say there isn't. Maybe I'm just... That's the problem I had with Game of Thrones. It was so successful and so powerful for 7 or 8 seasons, but then the last season was so marred and so badly panned. It's left such a foul taste in my mouth that at the moment, I'm not so sure if I even want to watch House of the Dragon.
I agree. Well, I'm definitely going to watch it, but I agree with you about the bad taste in my mouth.
I think what it does is it puts a lot of undue pressure. If the show is anything less than stellar, there's potential for it to be panned. Even if it's less than stellar, like even if it's a good show, but because it's not amazing, I feel like a lot of people are just going to be like, this is terrible. I don't even want to waste my time with it.
I love how things have evolved. That there used to just be standalone movies.
Yeah.
Then there was a movie and a sequel. Then there was a movie and a prequel. Then there was a TV show. And then there were whole other like prequel TV shows or spin-offs, right? So I mean, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, right? Now we've got, House of Dragon based on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's again, I think it's an evolutionary, it's a testament to two things. An evolution of the platforms, right? Because now, you're not all fighting for the same limited number of TV slots on a channel, on a cable network, because you have theoretically an infinite number of platforms that you can stream it onto live. And the second thing is that it's a testament to the quality. TV shows, on average, TV shows have gotten really good. The writing is excellent. The stories are excellent. And if they weren't, we wouldn't be in this position today. Right?
It's amazing. You're absolutely right. It's amazing how there used to just be TV shows, and from week to week, the plot was kind of independent. Right?
Exactly. There were standalone shows. There wasn't a thread unifying the whole show, except for soap operas and with like on the rare instance a few like season-long series or like dramatic mini-series. But on average, they took the sitcom formula, which is to say whatever happened in episode 1 has no impact on episode 2 or 3 or 4. And there may be a callback or a reference every now and then, but that's it. You didn't have to watch episode 4 to understand episode 5.
Simple times.
Yeah. I just think I like it because I think this is really, it indicates good storytelling. And I like good storytelling.
Yeah, I agree. I think you and I are both unified. Like when we can find really good stories. One of the reasons I like Vikings so much, one of the reasons we probably both like Expanse, is that the ongoing stories, the evolutions of characters and themes is just kind of so compelling that it's always kind of capturing my imagination.
Right.
Expanse, absolutely. Vikings is not as much, but Expanse, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that we need to prepare to see or decide if we want to see or not? Or is this going to keep us occupied for the next 30 to 60 days?
I think this keeps us occupied for quite some time. Let's see how things pan out with these shows. There's been a trend of, releasing or rebooting old shows into new shows. I think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is coming out with a new one, which I am absolutely not interested in seeing. Then they're rebooting How I Met Your Mother, which again, absolutely no interest in seeing. Like, there's a bunch of these stale concepts that they don't need to do, but they're doing because I think, again, the flip side or the counter argument to what I said was because you have an unlimited number of networks and possibilities to stream this, it gets to a point where people are eventually going to just start throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what's going to stick. And that for me is an exercise in futility.
Look, let's focus on, for our next episode, or the next 2 episodes, we've got to break down Book of Boba. We've got to break down Peacemaker. And for me, Peacemaker has a lot of similarity to The Boys.
Definitely. Not just similarity to... Yeah. Actually, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
And maybe we need to talk then about Suicide Squad.
We'll definitely touch upon the second Suicide Squad when we talk about Peacemaker, because they, as you rightly pointed out, they're interrelated.
I think it's good that we give our listeners a little bit of homework. Prepare, watch, or refresh yourself.
That's right. There will be a quiz on this, boys and girls.
There will be graded.
Perfect. So I think that's it in terms of the state of the television and entertainment union.
Pete, always a pleasure. It is what it is. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Ethan, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
We'll catch you next week.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Films and Stuff. If you haven't already, please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are downloaded. Films and Stuff. There is no substitute.